Hello and welcome back. So today's video is another plein air practice, meaning that it was a studio painting, but I'm applying the time constraints that there would be in a plein air quick draw competition. So today's video is a portrait of a house, and I might do that for a while to really get that together. I don't know that that will always help me in a plein air contest, of that nature, because you might actually be out in nature. But for now, I'm that's what I'm shooting for. The title of this house is Fifth Avenue, Longmont, Colorado. It's a really nice house. I walked by it. I was like, "There's the back of it's really huge and." Um, just has a lot of patios on it, but it's not with all of the other really nice houses in town. It's with a few on the other side of Main Street. So the area of interest in this is around the doorway underneath the patio that's on top of the covered porch, or that forms the covered porch. And then the actual focal point is just a little wedge, a little sliver where the light is illuminating part of a wreath that's not a holiday wreath. It's just a wreath in the summertime. I thought about leaving it out, but then I was like, well, I can, with all the greenery around it, can definitely make it look as if it was a summer scene. There's no snow. There's a lot of grass and green shrubbery. So for the drawing phase, the and moving forward for houses with many balusters, the things that hold up the railings. I've debated whether I would maybe go to uh, a colored pencil where it would just kind of hint at that, like either do it in a highlight color or a shadow color, or do the shadow sides only, either in colored pencil or a very light uh, graphite pencil. I felt like it got a little busy. I mean, I look at the painting right now in a scaled down size on screen, and it looks fine. But when I was up close to it, it really seemed to show. It looked busy in there. Um, and then the only other thing with drawing was in some of the areas, like you can see that there is a roof line on the house, but I wish maybe I'd drawn a little bit more of the shrubbery, because it's so um, there's so much of it, So using lines to maybe help break it up, and then on the house itself, moving into the painted objects, um, you'll see in the video how I painted, or that I painted the house itself. That I painted it that creamy yellow color first, and then I went back and painted in the sky and worked my way down. Um, and I did that I was hoping that the house color was going to dry and I wasn't going to get any creep in on that. And so I was reminded of Monty Python's skit of the shrubbery and stacking the shrubbery, and I did actually have a pencil line in there. So if I just followed that, but I think I was trying to blend in that a little bit. Whatever it is, it's a lesson learned. I mean, theoretically, it's a lesson learned. We'll see the next time. And then I painted some gouache on it. Um, and a lot of that gouache didn't need to actually be gouache. It wasn't necessarily a lighter color. I could have gone in with um, more watercolor, but I was just in there with the gouache and I was putting in colors. You'll notice on drawing that it has, or excuse me, on the finished painting, you might be able to see in the path going up, there's a little bit of lavender, like it's reflecting off the sky, um, and things like that. So, that's other ways where I use gouache. One of the things I wish I had done differently is the shadow in the top portion of the house. Um, it's not necessarily that it's too strong, but there's something up there. Maybe it's the reddish colored trim up there. There's something that's a little too dark, so it's competing with the focal point. And what I'm thinking mentally is do about 10% crisper in the focal point area, and then any area that's right next to that, just have it kind of fade. And then an area that's in, maybe in this case, like the opposite third. So you've got the lower left third being where the wreath is, and then the upper right third um, being that decorative element of the house. Um, Maybe soften that up a little bit. I don't think it's. I mean, if I had done the that porch on that second level of the house, if I had done that more, if I had gone darker in there, it definitely would have competed. So maybe on this one, I've got it pretty close, but that's just something to watch for. Really focusing on the focal point, and maybe in the process of painting, maybe keeping that upper right area a little bit wet. So as I'm applying, it gets a little bit of a bleed. Just using techniques like that to ensure that the focus is where it needs to be. Or maybe the lines are sharp, but I'm really focusing on my values being a little more subdued and my chroma or saturation being a little more subdued. So moving forward, I'll probably approach it a little bit more um, methodical like that. And some of these things will become more second nature, especially painting house portraits, especially if they're 2-story, L shaped. My next one is not L shaped like this one is, or J shaped, however you want to phrase it. So, but having a genre, I guess, practicing those same things over and over just to get it nailed. And then I know eventually I'm going to have to start painting maybe some things that don't have the main character as a piece of architecture. But right now, I love old houses. I mean, I love new houses as well, mid-century moderns. But right now, the area of town I'm focusing on, there are more houses like this than there are um, mid-century moderns. I'd probably have to go to Boulder to focus a little bit more on those. But we have quite a few nice houses, and with plein air painting of people's houses. I haven't approached anybody yet to ask permission to actually paint outdoors. I almost did the other day, but I think that there was something going on between this couple. So I was like, nope, not doing it. Beautiful house, but don't want to get in the middle of some shenanigans. But my general rule right now is if it's a public place, like a lot of these old houses that just nobody could keep up with for like there was either no interest in the 50s and 60s or just people couldn't really afford a house like that, or they were built so close to town they became law offices, whatever it is. If it's still a private home, I'll take photographs. I don't feel too intrusive that way, but I'm not going to go set up my plein air kit without permission. But if it is a law office, it's actually kind of nice because they have a Google page more than likely that the painting could be posted on. Whereas a house like this, there's not a business there, so I can't really, post anything. I know the address of the house. I could mail them a postcard and say, "Hey, thank you, for having such a beautiful home." But bottom line, I guess, cut it short, is if it's a private home, approach with caution and take photos. If it's a business, law offices, whatever, a hair salon and whatever other things in there, I would say feel free to set up shop, and they'd probably be pleased that you liked it. And a homeowner might as well, but they just might think it's a little weird that you're painting their house. So that's it for this video. I am going to show this picture. It's the original photo of the house, but I went into the shadows. I was studying the colors, not so much for the painting, this painting, but for curiosity to see, okay, how does the sky light affect the shadows? And then how does the reflection of the green grass affect the shadows? And then I did little color swatches in Photoshop, and then I did put those color, I picked up the color and then I put it down on white background, and I was just really surprised at how dark it is, and the color range that is in the shadows. So that's something to bear in mind when you're either painting in studio or out. Going back to my 10% brighter in some areas, 10% duller in other areas, I am going to do a video of this house and this painting and another painting, and go through Photoshop and say, okay, look, if I lightened this shadow or if I darkened this shadow, a little manipulation to show how it would be. The lack of sky holes in this one, the shrubs on the right side of the house, could be sculpted. It's kind of level with the roof line on the other side of the house. So I'm just going to do a video that goes over that. So hope that this was informative for you, and watch me paint at the same time. Again, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe. Hoping to continue to grow the channel and continue doing plein air, faux plein air, and then real plein air as it cools off. It's been in the hundreds, and schedule's been a little busy, so I figured I would at least get this done. And again, got it done in under 2 hours, but excuse me, got it done in under 2 hours, but would I have gotten it done in under 2 hours, set up on my easel and dealing with wind and yada, yada, yada. And I don't know if that 2 hour time includes setting up, or if you can set up and then they start the clock once everybody has their kit set up. So thanks again, and lovely to see you again, my friend.